So Bill Gates and Steve Jobs are probably two of the most influential people when it comes to technology, and also in a way creating something to actually introduce social media. Now, if you ask me, Tommy, what do these people think about social media and technology? You would be surprised to find out that Bill Gates didn't allow his kids to have a phone until 14. You'd be surprised to find out that basically Steve Jobs did not allow his kids to actually own an iPad. You'll be surprised to find out that the CEO of Snapchat, if I'm not mistaken, only allows their kids to actually spend about an hour and a half of screen time per week. That is per week. So if you ask me, Tommy, is social media dangerous? Is technology dangerous? The answer is it's pretty obvious by the people that actually created it, how to limit it to the people that they mostly care about. It's like, for example, if I went into a meat store and I saw, for example, the guy selling the meat or the food say to his kids and his wife, hey, don't give our kids that food. Okay, don't do it. It's not good. Then I wouldn't really feel good about actually buying the meat because, hey, something must be wrong here. And in this video, I'll tell you exactly why I quit social media, how I did it, what I replaced it with, and how I actually cut on my screen time by around 50% just by doing one thing. In this video, I'll break everything down. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is TommyBryson. Make sure you actually smash the like button. I appreciate it a ton. Now, the very first thing, guys, is I want to tell you about all of my failures. Everything I basically tried when it came to actually trying to quit social media, trying to reduce the time I actually spend on my phone and screen time overall. First of all, I tried this little hack. Uninstall social media during the week, use it on the weekends. You know what happened? Well, all of a sudden, I forgot to uninstall it, so all of a sudden, now I'm right back on social media. It just didn't work. Or trying to uninstall it during the day, use it during the night, I just end up basically installing it or keep it installed and just keep using it. Number two, I tried to actually get a smaller phone. This phone right here is an iPhone, but it's actually a mini iPhone. It's an iPhone 13 mini. And guess why I got it? I said to myself, well, the battery is smaller, the screen is smaller, it's probably going to make me want to use my phone less. The answer was no. Although this battery does not last me the full day, only until like 2 p.m., I basically just use my phone the same way I would, charge it up, and keep using it. It doesn't affect it overall, okay? So this obviously did not work. Number three is, I tried to actually use the iPhone screen time feature. You know, the one that lets you limit, for example, you're used to a specific app or a category. So I would say, hey, only 1 hour for social media. Now, when the prompt came telling me, hey, you spent more than 1 hour, what I would do was basically say, hey, extend it by 15 minutes over and over again. And before I knew it, I just kept using it and made it indefinitely, okay? And the last thing I actually tried was, I tried this trick, which actually makes your phone go black and white. So this way the colors don't make your phone that attractive, right? Well, I just turned it off after a while because it was just super boring. And it's very easy. So my point is this, guys, okay? I failed because it's like giving somebody like that has the addiction, whether it's food or things that you get at a pharmacy, for example. People that have these addictions, it's like giving them power and control about how they're actually going to use and minimize their use of whatever is actually making them addicted. It's like telling my friend, hey, I know you have a food addiction, but I'm going to make you have full liberty about how you're going to control your diet and everything like that. It doesn't work because the problem is the person, and the person with the problem is trying to fix the problem. So if my problem is social media and I can basically just turn off whatever gateway I use with like a touch of the button, it makes it too easy to continue on, okay? It makes it way too easy. And that's why I basically failed. Now, what actually worked for you, Tommy? What was it that made your screen time go down by 50%? Well, you'll be surprised to know this, but what actually made the biggest change in my life was basically understanding what social media is actually used for. If you go on the internet right now, you're going to hear Google tell you social media is great because it basically it's a platform to connect you with your friends and family and relatives, to actually be able to have communication and share ideas and all this stuff. But in reality, when was the last time you actually used social media to connect with your relative? The last time I used social media, it was just about going, for example, on the explore page, which my family is obviously not there, or my friends, and just basically going scroll, 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 scroll infinitely, and just basically consuming a bunch of content and sending that content to my friends and family. Now, are we really communicating? The answer is no. We're just two consumers consuming content and sharing it with each other. That is not connecting. It's just fake, okay? And overall, when I want to connect with someone, I use WhatsApp, I use iMessage, I use FaceTime. I just call people, okay? That's real connecting. It's not social media just sharing nonsense, okay? Once I understood this, it changed everything. Because then I started to do research on how social media is actually designed to be addictive. First of all, you have infinite scroll. You ever notice that you can never actually get to the bottom of a page? You just keep scrolling, scrolling, and scrolling, but you never actually get to the bottom. You know why that is? It's because they're constantly going to keep feeding you new content, new content, new content, and it makes it harder to stop if you never actually stop. It's why Netflix, instead of giving you, for example, like 3 seconds or 5 seconds to actually start whatever, they're usually just basically trying to start you on to the next show, the next episode quickly and fast. Same thing now with this platform, okay? What they do is the next video starts automatically on autoplay. It's because they don't want you to get off the platform. Number 2 is instant feedback. When you get likes and comments and the things you actually post, the things you comment on, that basically forms a loop because you're being rewarded for something you're actually doing. And that's not healthy at all, because now you're checking on your picture over and over again. Am I getting likes? Am I not getting likes? What's going on here? It's not good. It's not healthy. Number 3 is, have you ever noticed that social media is so bright? The contrast is so awesome. The vibrancy is so great. For example, I do this. My thumbnails are very bright now, and it gets more attention. Same thing with your phone. Your phone is usually going to be bright, somewhere you actually want to go to. You're like this, you know? It's designed to be addictive. Social media is designed to be addictive. And once I noticed that hey, I'm an addict, what I'm using is designed to be addictive, what can I do to actually stop this? The answer was not to reduce my time. The answer was to quit. So what worked best for me was uninstalling all social media. Now, off the bat, what were the results? Did it actually work? Did I miss anything? The answer is, I felt bored at first, because that happens. Because usually when you're bored, you grab your phone, you scroll some, okay? And you spend like 2 hours scrolling before you actually know it. But that's what happened at first. But then the second thing that happened was I replaced social media with basically YouTube consumption and Netflix consumption. And you know, it's like replacing one evil for another one. Nothing's happening overall. So I stopped that too. I uninstalled this app, okay? I uninstalled Netflix, and I have Netflix for the most part and Disney Plus like on my iPad, okay? I have most of those applications there because this way when I'm using it, I don't feel bad about it because I know, hey, I'm using it because I want to and I'm taking time for it. But when it's with this device that I have access to all the time, it's just not that great. So that's what worked best for me. So now, what have I replaced social media with? The answer is I do some calling, I do some texting, I talk to my friends, but for the most part, me personally, I'm interested, for example, in reading more on the Bible. I'm interested in reading more books. I'm interested in just doing like a lot more learning. So whenever I feel bored, I throw on an audiobook, I read the Bible, I do those things, and those things help me and edify me in a way. So the point is, make sure that when you uninstall social media, that you actually don't replace it with something just as bad. And by the way, Tommy, but you know, you do need social media sometimes. And the answer is yes, absolutely. And I still use social media sometimes, but I don't have any apps installed. So if I want to go on Facebook, if I want to go, for example, on Instagram, for example, I go through the Safari app or the Google Chrome app. And this way is like, it's not that addictive because they don't have access to me as far as notification and an app right there. It's not like that. Now, why do I go on social media? Let's say I want to go to a restaurant and I want to see what it's like. I go on there. Let's say I want to find out something my friend told me. I go on there for that reason. Let's say I want to actually see apartments or things for sale on Facebook. I go on it for that reason. But it's becoming more of a utilitarian type thing instead of a consumption type thing. So that's what helped me the most, which is basically quitting. I quit trying to be responsible with something that's designed to make me addicted to it, and they do a very good job at it. So that's what I do now. I just don't use social media. Now, if you're on this platform and you're like, I like being on this platform to actually learn new things, like watching videos like this, the answer is you could do it, but you want to be very careful that you don't basically go on a tantrum, on a tandem, going from I'm gonna watch Tommy's video and this other video on education, and all of a sudden you've been on this platform for like 4 hours watching cat videos, right? So you want to be very careful with that. So know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and don't try to fight every battle. Some battles are just best not fought. Now, there is one thing I want to mention, and it's justification. I work on social media, and you might say, Tommy, well, you need social media, right? The answer is yes. I do post content on this platform. I also want to get into the habit of posting content on Instagram and TikTok and all those platforms. But the answer is I can prepare content, and I can use, for example, one specific day to actually upload content for that time being, and then uninstalled everything. That's basically it, okay? So be very careful with the excuses you use to basically justify its use, okay? Now, do me a favor, guys, okay? Only about literally 15% of you guys actually are subscribed to the channel that actually watch this content. So most likely you're watching this video and you're not subscribed. So do me a favor if you got value so far and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot and you get more content. I almost forgot to show you guys my screen time. So right now, my average screen time was about like 7 hours and 28 minutes. But in reality, on some days, I would be hitting around like 8 hours and 9 hours, okay? So it's not really that healthy. Now, just for example, this week, for example, it's saying I've been on my phone for about like 5 hours and 28 minutes, as you can see right there. And it's almost like a 2-hour reduction, but it's not really true because when you take a look at it, I'm spending most of my time, I'm not kidding here, I'm spending most of my time, let's go here on a daily basis. Today I've been on my phone for 3 hours, right? 3 hours right there. You can actually see it. 3 hours. Now, if you look at what I've actually been doing, I've basically just been on Safari, on WhatsApp, and just my notes and YouTube and stuff like that. But that's basically it. When I'm spending like 5 hours on my phone, it might just be because I'm using Google Maps to basically look up locations. I'm using WhatsApp, but it's no longer on social media. So if I have a day where I need to use my phone a lot for like location and checking things on WhatsApp and those things, it's fine. But I'm not spending my time on social media as much as I do now. Now, when I am on Netflix, for example, it's because I really want to be on Netflix watching the show. It's not because I got basically pulled into Netflix, if you know what I mean. If I'm playing a game, which I have this game I'm playing right now, which is pretty cool. If I'm playing a game, it's because I literally want to play this game. It's not because the game is pulling me in to play, you know? It's having more control. Social media is one of those things I feel like it's very hard to pull out of. While being, for example, on Netflix or being, for example, on a game, you can easily just pull out if you're not addicted. Now, this is all personal stuff, right? So for me, this works best. For you, if you have problems with games, maybe just uninstall them too and replace them with other things, okay? But guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video. Over here is another video and subscribe to this channel. It helps out a lot.